Welcome! Learn English with Victoria and Tony on TalkiCast.
Hey, Tony. I've got a question for you. Be honest, okay? How many times have you told yourself, this week I'm gonna study English every day, and then stopped after, 3 days?
Oh, come on, don't expose me like that. But yeah, you're right. I've done that so many times. I start with fire and motivation, and then, boom, it's gone.
Exactly. That's what I wanted to talk about today. Consistency. Everyone wants to speak fluent English, but not everyone keeps going when it gets boring or hard.
Yeah, motivation is easy to find, but consistency, that's the real challenge. Because motivation depends on your mood, but consistency depends on your mindset.
Totally. And honestly, I think most learners fail, not because they're lazy, but because they expect results too fast. They study for a week and want to sound like a native speaker already.
Yeah, I've seen that. People want a magic app or a one-week course, but real progress is quiet, invisible, and slow, like building muscles at the gym. You don't see it every day, but it's happening.
So true. And that's what we'll talk about today. How to stay consistent with your English learning, even when you don't feel like it.
Nice. So, let's give our listeners some energy first. Welcome back, everyone, to TalkiCast.
Yeah. If you're listening right now, congratulations. It means you showed up today. That's already step one in being consistent.
Exactly. Because showing up even on days when you're tired or busy, that's where the real growth starts.
So let's start with something simple. Tony, what helps you stay consistent when learning something new, like a language or a skill?
For me, the biggest trick is not relying on motivation. I focus on discipline. Like brushing your teeth. You don't ask yourself if you feel like it, you just do it.
That's so true. Imagine if people only brushed their teeth when they felt motivated. The world would be a mess.
Right. But seriously, I think building a small habit is the key. Instead of studying for 2 hours once a week, I do 15 minutes every day.
I love that. It's the same for me. I always tell my students, small consistency beats big effort that doesn't last.
Exactly. Like, imagine planting a seed. If you water it a little every day, it grows. But if you pour a bucket of water once a week and forget it, it'll die.
That's a great metaphor. So here's tip number 1. Start small and stay steady. Don't aim for perfection, aim for progress.
Perfect. And that brings us to tip number 2. Have a clear reason. You can't stay consistent if you don't know why you're learning English.
Yes, your why keeps you going when motivation disappears. Maybe it's for your dream job. Maybe for travel. Maybe just to feel confident. But you need that personal reason.
Without a why, every excuse sounds good. With a why, every challenge feels worth it.
Nicely said. So what's next?
Tip number 3, make it part of your daily routine, like listening to this podcast while you have breakfast or walk to work.
Exactly. English doesn't have to feel like homework. You can make it part of your lifestyle.
I once had a student who practiced English every morning while brushing her hair. She would talk to herself in English about her plans for the day.
That's brilliant. And you know what? That's what consistency looks like. Small actions done daily until they become automatic.
You know, Victoria, sometimes people say, I don't have time to study English every day. But I think that's not true. It's not about time. It's about priority.
Exactly. Everyone has time for scrolling on their phone, right? 10 minutes on Instagram, 15 on TikTok. That's already a perfect English practice session right there.
True. You could literally watch one short English video or listen to part of a podcast like this instead.
So here's tip number 4. Use your small pockets of time. Even 5 minutes counts. You don't need a perfect study plan. You just need to show up.
Yes, because language learning is like brushing your teeth. You don't need one perfect brushing session a week. You need small, regular ones every day.
That's the second time you've mentioned brushing teeth today, Tony.
I know. Maybe I should record a whole episode called What Brushing Your Teeth Can Teach You About English.
I would totally listen to that. Okay, so here's another important one. Tip number 5. Don't expect motivation every day.
Yes, motivation is temporary. Some days you'll wake up excited to learn. Other days you'll feel tired, lazy, or just not in the mood. And that's okay.
That's right. On those days, do the minimum. Read one paragraph, listen to one short video, or review 3 words. But don't skip it completely.
Exactly. Because skipping one day makes it easier to skip the next. But doing something, even a tiny thing, keeps the chain going.
You're talking about the don't break the chain method, right?
Yes, I love that one. You put an X on your calendar every day you study English. After a week or two, you'll see a chain of X's, and you won't want to break it.
That's powerful. It's like your brain says, I've come this far. I can't stop now.
So that's tip number 6. Track your progress visually. It's simple, but it really motivates your brain.
Totally agree. I have a notebook for my Spanish learning. I write what I did each day, even if it's small. After a month, I can see real progress.
That's amazing. You know what else helps with consistency? Accountability.
Oh yes, that's tip number 7. Don't do it alone.
Exactly. When you tell someone your goals, like, I'm going to practice English 5 times this week, it becomes real.
Yeah, and even better if you have a study partner or a friend. You can send each other voice notes in English or share a new phrase you learned.
That's what we call a support system. You lift each other up when motivation drops.
You know, sometimes people think they have to do everything alone, but learning together makes it more fun and less scary.
Absolutely. Because when you share your progress, you also share your energy.
I love that. So, to summarize what we've said so far, no, wait, actually, let's not summarize yet. I feel like we're just getting to the good part.
Yeah, me too. I was about to say, there's one more thing about consistency that people don't talk about enough. Self-compassion.
Oh, I love that. Okay, let's go there next, because I think that's the most emotional part of this whole topic.
Agreed. Sometimes being consistent isn't about being perfect. It's about being kind to yourself when you're not.
Perfect transition. Let's dive into that. How to be gentle with yourself and still keep growing. You know, Tony, I think people often believe consistency means being perfect. Like if they miss one day, they failed.
Yeah, I've seen that too. But consistency isn't perfection. It's returning again and again, even after you fall.
Exactly. That's what self-compassion is. It means saying, Okay, I didn't study yesterday, but that's fine. I'm still learning.
I love that because guilt can destroy consistency. When you feel bad about missing a day, you stop trying, and that's the real failure.
Right. So here's tip number 8. Forgive yourself quickly. Don't waste time feeling guilty. Just start again.
That's powerful. It reminds me of what my coach used to say. You don't lose when you fall. You lose when you stop getting up.
That's beautiful. And so true for language learning, too. You can forget words, make mistakes, mispronounce things. It's all part of the process.
Yeah, mistakes are not the enemy. They're the evidence that you're doing something.
I like that. Evidence that you're doing something. That's such a great way to look at it.
So that's tip number 9. Embrace your mistakes. Instead of hiding from them, use them as your teachers.
You know, sometimes when I make a mistake in Spanish, I laugh. It reminds me that I'm human and I'm learning.
Same. I once said something completely wrong in French, and the person laughed. But instead of feeling embarrassed, I laughed too.
That's the best attitude, because when you laugh at your mistakes, they lose their power.
Exactly. You turn fear into growth.
You know what? That brings us to tip number 10. Enjoy the journey.
Yes, consistency isn't just about effort. It's about finding joy in the process.
Right. Listen to English songs. Watch movies. Read something you like, not just what you should.
Because if you enjoy it, you'll want to do it every day. Not because you must, but because you love it.
And that's the secret. Love what you learn, and learning becomes easy.
So true. And you know, Victoria, I think people underestimate how far small daily love can take them.
Yeah. Small love, big results. 10 minutes of English every day, done with joy, beats 1 hour of pressure once a week.
That's the magic of consistency. Small steps every day with a kind heart.
I love how you said that. With a kind heart. That's the energy we need to finish today's episode with.
Yeah. To everyone listening, remember, you don't have to be perfect. You just have to keep showing up.
Keep going, even when you don't feel like it. Keep practicing, even if it's just 5 minutes, because every small step counts.
And every time you show up, your future self is thanking you.
So, be proud of yourself, not because you're perfect, but because you're trying.
And that's what real consistency looks like.
Thank you for spending your time with us today. And if you enjoyed this conversation, make sure to keep listening, learning, and growing with us.
Yeah, and remember, every day is a new chance to practice English and become your best self.
We believe in you.
Always. See you in the next episode. And don't forget, keep learning, keep practicing, and stay consistent.